November 1st, 2009. "16x9, the bigger picture."
In most cases, the H1N1 virus causes mild infection. For others, it has been deadly. How H1N1 almost took the life of a pregnant woman.
I looked at my stomach and saw that it wasn't big. What happened here?
$500 million has been spent on a vaccine many Canadians are too afraid to take. But we're going to bust the myths, clarify the facts, so you can decide for yourself whether you want to get the shot.
We're trying to protect the public, and we hope at the end of the day that they'll look at the evidence that this is a safe and effective vaccine.
H1N1 hysteria, how some companies are cashing in on your fears.
I could destroy H1N1.
Are you trying to make money from everyone's fear?
No, absolutely not.
That's all coming up on 16x9.
Good evening and welcome to 16x9, the bigger picture. I'm Carolyn Jarvis. For most, H1N1 means feeling rotten for a week or so. But for others, it's been deadly. So how can you know if you will be part of the small percentage of people who will develop a serious illness from the virus? Our Beatrice Politi now with the deadly price two families have paid. With every step and every breath, 27-year-old Aubrey Opdyke is recovering.
You know, at best, it was 50 to 60% that she'd survive.
It's one of those things, it's not gonna happen to me.
In late June, Aubrey became ill.
I just started getting a sore throat.
She was coughing, very tired, and she had a fever, signs she thought of a typical cold. Aubrey Opdyke would be among the 1% with serious complications from the H1N1 virus. Over her months-long hospital stay, she would face death several times.
I started feeling sick on the Saturday, and slowly throughout the week it just wasn't going away.
Aubrey was just over 5 months pregnant. She had a fever. She was worried.
I went to my OBGYN. She did a urinalysis, and everything turned out okay.
But the symptoms lingered.
By Friday, she prescribed me an antibiotic.
2 days later, Aubrey was delirious.
She couldn't remember her name.
Aubrey's husband, Brian Opdyke, brought her here, the Wellington Regional Medical Center.
They checked my oxygen, and it's supposed to be around 95, and it was below 70.
Aubrey was crashing, her lungs filled with fluid.
They did, the chest x-ray, and it was completely whited out.
By dawn, Aubrey was in the intensive care unit, intubated, and in a medically induced coma. Within 2 days, she would suffer her first collapsed lung. Her kidneys began to fail. A week later, Aubrey suffered a second collapsed lung. The baby's heart rate was plummeting. Then came an emergency C-section.
I could lose both of them. I could lose her. I could lose the baby.
At 27 weeks, Parker Christine Opdyke was born. She lived 7 minutes.
They let me hold her for a while, and then it was hard. I didn't know what to expect, but she was much bigger than I expected.
Aubrey remained in a coma. Her body swelled from the pressure of the air machines forcing oxygen into her body, leading to extensive scarring. She developed acute respiratory distress syndrome. She suffered 2 more collapsed lungs. Then after 5 weeks, doctors decided she was strong enough and took her out of the induced coma.
I couldn't move a finger. I could barely shake my head back and forth.
And she noticed something else.
I looked at my stomach and saw that, it wasn't big. And I knew she probably didn't make it because no one had brought her into me.
But Aubrey's battle wasn't over. She developed a bacterial infection, suffered 2 more collapsed lungs, and 2 seizures. It wasn't until 3 months after she was rushed through the emergency doors that Aubrey was finally released. She faces many more months of recovery.
I get winded quickly, like doing the stairs, getting into bed.
Folding clothes.
Yeah, folding clothes.
Aubrey talks about her very personal struggle and loss for one reason.
If I would have seen my story, I may not,
Have gone through it.
I may not have gone through it at all. I may still have my baby.
Aside from a smoking habit, she was a healthy young woman. Doctors don't know why she became part of the 1%.
A country away, another family can't make sense of their tragic loss.
You know, you're here to protect your children, and I couldn't do anything. So it makes me angry.
13-year-old Evan Frustralio was an avid hockey player, a straight-A student, the kind of kid who shared his lunch and defended friends against bullies.
Evan had expressed a little bit of a sore throat.
Evan and his mother Anne-Marie were at a hockey tournament in London, Ontario, where he developed those now familiar mild flu-like symptoms.
Saturday night, he played hockey in one of his best games.
It would be his last.
He started to cough in the night. We got up and he was sick, and I said, you know, I didn't feel right.
Anne-Marie is a nurse. She packed up her son and drove home.
He kept asking me, are you okay to drive, Mom? Because I was kind of tired. And I said, you're the best co-pilot anyone could ever have, Ev.
Within hours, Evan's parents, Anne-Marie and Paul, had taken him to the walk-in clinic.
The doctor said everything is okay, simple flu-like symptoms. Told us to get some more meds, over-the-counter meds, and some Gravol.
If Evan got worse, the doctor said, bring him back.
It's so strange because on Sunday, really, there was no coughing or real fever, really.
Overnight, Evan vomited 3 times. In the morning, he asked his father to run a bath.
On the sides of his legs was some sort of reddish rash, and I thought perhaps it may have been from the fever. It just didn't look 100% right to me.
First, Paul helped his son back to bed. Then he made a call.
I dialed our family physician. I just didn't like what was, you know, just a weird feeling in my tummy.
Paul got the answering machine and was about to call his wife when he heard Evan walking around.
I said, Ev, are you okay? And he said, yes, Dad, I'm just going to the bathroom. And when I got in there, he was lying on the floor. He was kind of breathing funny. And I said, Evan, come on, let's get up, son. So I picked him up and I'm holding him. Half his body on mine, and just Evan, wake up, right? Trying to wake up my boy, right? Not knowing that he had, I guess, stopped breathing. And I dialed 911 and I had them on the phone like this. I'm holding the phone and holding up my boy.
Minutes later, police, fire, and paramedics arrived. The H1N1 virus killed Evan Frustralio that morning, just over 48 hours since he first experienced run-of-the-mill flu-like symptoms. In the days since Evan's death, vaccine clinics opened to winding lineups, part of what a family friend has called the Evan effect.
When somebody says, yeah, everything is fine, keep your eye on it. If it gets worse, you know, then you come back. Well, it did get worse, but there wasn't that chance of coming back. That's what's scary.
A mother knows. You have to advocate on their behalf and not to just accept simple, but ask for more, dig for more.
Coming up on 16 by 9.
Pig blood, horse blood, rabbit brain, dog kidney, monkey kidney.
Are those in the vaccine?
None of those are in the vaccine.
That's next.